And today it's up at 28 degrees. Right now it's 27 degrees in Brisbane, Logan and in Ipswich, and in Toowoomba it's 24 degrees as River 949's hottest 94 days of summer continues.
Before television, before iPhones, and before Facebook, people went to one place for entertainment: radio. And there was only one station worth listening to. 4IP.
Welcome to the history of Ipswich Radio, a River 949 special presentation.
4IP was launched by the Johnson family, who own garages, with the station setting up in the old flour mill on Brisbane Street. 4IP legend and current River 949 General Manager David Greenwood says that radio in the late 1930s was a totally different kettle of fish to what it is now.
Here's one of the good guys, David Greenwood.
Good morning. The morning breakfast program was filled with Cheerio calls and a variety of music. There was no such thing as format radio as we know it today. And then you'd have requests and even live playing of the piano. I can recall funeral announcements because I had to read them on 4IP, and all the funeral directors would send in their funeral messages. Then we had Dr. Michelson with a religious program in the middle of the day. Then we'd run all requests and genuine requests from the libraries, and the libraries in those days were big rooms with everything catalogued. And then me at 16 years of age playing non-stop. In those days everyone said it was noise for 3 hours. And then at night time we played jazz, and then turned the station off at 11 o'clock for the breakfast guy to come in the next morning and turn the station on again.
The Johnson family sold the station in 1963, with Grazier's Sir William Allen and Sir Frank Moore moving the station into what is now the Bendigo Bank Building on the corner of East and Limestone Street in Ipswich. According to Mr. Greenwood, not only did Sir William and Sir Frank change the location of the studios, they also revamped its sound, becoming the first station in the country to move to the top 40 format, becoming Colour Radio 4IP.
Colourful 4IP.
They took that radio station from all things to all people, with the piano playing and the serials and the religious programs, and not that I'm knocking religious programs, but they used to be block programs, to be the number one radio station in Brisbane and in Ipswich. And it became the most idolised radio station in the country because it was the first station really to introduce format radio. They brought out a programmer. We played the same song every hour and 40 minutes. People complain today because they think they hear the same song too much, but an hour and 40 is a bit much.
As the station grew, so did its notoriety with the birth of the good guys. Disc jockeys in white suits playing rock and roll hits.
There was John Knox, Billy J. Smith, Jim Island, Ray Clark, John McCoy, Gary Rains.
The good guys quickly became famous for pranks, including the infamous Catch King Kong competition, which involved David Greenwood rolling up to the Ipswich Girls Grammar School dressed as King Kong.
I pedalled up on a bicycle in the gorilla suit in the middle of summer. Another announcer called Walter Rhines on a motorbike in a safari outfit with a gun, a plastic gun, yelling out, "King Kong, where are you?" Just as he said that, I'm descended upon by the principal at the time of the girls' grammar school, Miss Carter, who said, "What do you think you're doing?" I couldn't speak. I'm just grunting like a gorilla. Oof, oof, oof. And she said, "I'm going to call the police. What we've done is gone to the wrong school." But at the same time, I was discovered, and I look around and my bike went missing because the girls at the girls' grammar school just sort of borrowed it. And I look around, there's no bike. We'd gone to the wrong school, so if you can visualise me holding on the back of the hunter going out of the school as the gorilla being chased by all these girls and the principal threatening us. Yeah, that was one of the many things. I mean, we used to do all those crazy things.
The history of Ipswich Radio continues after this. A River 949 special presentation.
Hey, it's Sunday afternoon. I've got no mind to worry. Close my eyes and drift away. Gonna happen in the city. Be with my girl, she's so
free man. Well, my friends, that's what I am. I'm not content to be with you in the daytime. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time. The only time I feel alright is by your side. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time, all day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. I believe that you and me last forever. Oh yeah, all day and night I'm yours, leave me never. The only time I feel alright is by your side. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time, all day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. Oh, come on. I believe that you and me last forever. Oh yeah, all day and night I'm yours, leave me never. The only time I feel alright is by your side. Girl, I want to be with you all of the time, all day and all of the night. All day and all of the night. All day and all of the night.
Welcome back to the History of Ipswich Radio.
A River 949 special presentation.
4IP had conquered Brisbane, but was not allowed to move into the Brisbane market. The floods of 1974 changed all that. The station's transmitter in Bundamba was washed away, taking the number one station off the air. A decision by the Australian Broadcast Authority allowed 4IP to transmit from a borrowed transmission site at Fig Tree Pocket, owned by rival station 4BK. Soon after, 4IP moved permanently to a site on the Moreton Bay Island of St Helena, giving the station an even stronger signal into the Queensland capital. Ipswich councillor Paul Tully says with the station broadcasting out of Brisbane, the station lost its links with Ipswich. Councillor Tully leading the charge to get a station back to Ipswich.
Well, in those days, the Australian Broadcasting Tribunal used to have hearings every 3 years to decide if they would renew the licence of every radio station in Australia, and on 3 occasions there was a group of us, including David Hamill on the first occasion, who led the group to oppose the renewal unless 4IP would re-established its links to Ipswich. But the way the broadcasting legislation was positioned, they were legally right in what they were doing. They were able to continue and to, I guess, ignore Ipswich, unfortunately, and that started the move to say, well, look, we might have lost 4IP, but we'll get another radio station for the city one day.
The protest also saw Councillor Tully put his body on the line, climbing the old transmission tower in Bundamba in protest.
Just to give an impression of how high the 4IP radio tower was, when I got to the tower and I was carrying up the Eureka flag to sort of, protest the loss of the radio station and what we might be able to achieve, could see Moreton Island from the top of the 4IP tower. Now that is very, very high. Channel 10 had their helicopter out there on the day. I didn't realise that those rotor blades are very powerful with the air coming out of them. I had to brace my legs inside the transmitter mast at the top to avoid being blown off the top of the tower. And I'm usually a bit scared of heights. Remember, I'm on the inside of the tower, which is only sort of maybe about 1.5 metres square or triangular. So I was inside a ladder, but as I was holding up the Eureka flag in sort of some sort of symbolic victory of where we were heading, I nearly got blown off by the Channel 10 helicopter, which would have turned from a little bit of a protester movement into a massive story, but it didn't quite turn out that way.
Federal MP Bill Hayden took the fight to the Communications Minister Michael Duffy and recalls the day as one of the proudest hardest of his life.
You know, I went and saw the Communications Minister, Michael Duffy, who was then a good friend of mine, and I spoke to him about it after people associated with the radio station came and saw me, like Phil Fallu. He'd been a good friend of mine for many years, and lo and behold, it turned up. I think there's a lot of pride in the fact that we got one of the earliest FM licenses for the city.
And on the 25th of February 1990, QFM was launched in Hill Street, North Ipswich, with Ashley Mack playing the first song ever heard on QFM, Baker Street.
I can still remember all the goose pimples on the back of the neck, you know, the hair sticking up on the back of the neck, because it was like a baby was born. We had spent weeks getting this radio station ready, and it was one of very few purpose-built radio stations in Australia, and at the time was the most modern one in the country. It had touched a screen and a song would play.
The history of Ipswich Radio continues after this.
A River 949 special presentation.
Winding your way down on Baker Street, light in your head and dead on your feet. Well, another crazy day. You drink the night away and forget about everything. This city desert makes you feel so cold. It's got so many people, but it's got no soul, and it's taking you so long to find out you were wrong when you thought it held everything. You used to think that it was so easy. You used to say that it was so easy, but you're trying now. Another year and then you'd be happy. Just one more year and then you'd be happy, but you're crying now. Way down the street there's a light in his place. He opens the door, he's got that look on his face, and he asks you where you've been. You tell him who you've seen, and you talk about anything. He's got this dream about buying some land. He's gonna give up the booze and the one-night stands, and then he'll settle down to some quiet little town and forget about everything. But you know he'll always keep moving. You know he's never gonna stop moving, 'cause he's rolling, he's the rolling stone. When you wake up, it's a new morning. The sun is shining, it's a new morning. And you're going home. some magic, there's still some fun. If you don't pay too much attention, I say, who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the radio? Guys got his friends just to rock around and see it. It's a business to the traffic, it's not really clear. It crackles, it clicks, it pops, it starts, it's blasting out the top of it chart. AM or FM, I listen to both of them. Listening to the radio since I don't know when. Everyone's so busy, everyone's got somewhere to go. In the background, there's always the radio. Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the radio? Girl in a bedroom doing how she's a fooling with her friends, but she's going berserk. One hand's a cigarette, resting on the window, the other one in twiddles with the radio. Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the radio? The radio listens to the radio. Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the radio? That's what I'd like to know. Who listens to the
The history of Ipswich Radio continues after this.
A River 949 special presentation.
G'day, I'm Barry Bissell. Today I'm cover to cover.
Rifles! Fire in! Does he need a house?
Today on Cover to Cover.
We were really happy at the time that when Bond came in. You know, we had the key then to just go straight to rock and roll.
Today on Cover to Cover.
Cover to Cover. Today at 1 on River 949.
Clive Peters' 5-day kitchen and laundry clearance is on right now. With LG's stainless steel oven, cooktop and range hood cooking packs, now just $1,699. And there's hundreds more clearance specials just like this in-store and online.
There's over 20 kitchen displays for you to look through. And of course, everything we sell is at the best price, guaranteed.
Don't miss our 5-day kitchen and laundry clearance at Clive Peters.
We just make shopping easy.
Clive Peters, easy.
Twice Grammy-nominated singing sensation Tony Charles is heading back to Australia for an encore live national tour. With a list of sold-out shows last year behind her voice that inspired a generation, she'll thrill audiences again with all the big hits and showcase her new album Keep the Faith, a hard-hitting blend of roots, rock, folk and gospel. Tony Charles plays the Buddha Cultural Centre Wednesday, March 17 at 8 p.m. Tickets are available now on 5463-4817 or online at liveatthecentre.com.au. If you're looking for a timber and hardware place with great products and friendly and knowledgeable service, that's what you'll find at A Woodshed at Brassel and Darra. Timber, hardware, fencing, landscaping and more. Drop in or arrange a delivery today. A Woodshed at Brassel and Darra.
So many more people today are doing it the real way.
Hi, I'm Glenn Wall from Railway Brassel, and I'm addicted to real estate, and so is my team. Buying, selling or renting a home in Ipswich, you just have to see us at Railway Brassel, Pine Mountain Road at Brassel, next to Civic Video.
Save on these super midweek specials at Super IGA Gatton, Rosewood and Laidley. Pork shoulder roast, $5.97 a kilo. Loose onions, $1.49 a kilo. Champagne ham, $9.99 a kilo. Save on these super red hot specials for a limited time only at Super IGA Gatton, Rosewood and Laidley.
The world's greatest shave is on March 11 to 13. Thank God for that. This hair's killing me. Be brave and shave. Register now at worldsgreatestsshave.com.
Welcome back to the History of Ipswich Radio.
A River 949 special presentation.
106.9 QFM for my generation. 106.9 QFM.
After a trying time with 4IP, QFM had a tough task winning back the people of Ipswich and wasn't helped by a local business community struggling in a depressed economy.
QFM was competing directly with the Brisbane radio stations. Ipswich was in the doldrums. We had a population of 80,000. We hadn't amalgamated with the Moretonshire. The development was down. It really had to compete with the Brisbane stations.
The competition from Brisbane stations plagued Q through its early days, with Mid-Dawn's announcer Jeff Harrison saying the station didn't help itself in trying to win over the locals.
We'd do the Toowoomba Carnival of Flowers, and we had great support in Toowoomba, and we'd have a float, and it was fantastic, and everyone was there for the big parade, and we kind of took ownership of it. And then a few weeks later or less, the yearly Jacaranda Carnival at Goodna. And like if they had, rocks to throw at us, I'm sure they would have. It was just like, they weren't wanting us. And I think that was as much our fault as, I guess, some of those people identifying themselves with Brisbane. I mean, we didn't do, at that time, the thought wasn't to, it wasn't the process of honing in on our home turf. So it was kind of funny for, to go from being, like rock stars in one moment to a couple of weeks later to be sort of like, well, who are you guys? We want B105.
In a bid to win over its new audience, announcers were encouraged to get in touch with the people of Ipswich, with Ashley Mack saying it was surreal and a unique radio station to work in.
The fact that it's an Ipswichian station. It's Ipswich. It was great fun going on air and saying suburbs. People go, where the bloody hell's that? Like, what's a Chewer? And what the hell's an Evervale? Right? It was nice being able to say those suburbs on air. Oh, it was just the fact that you're working in your own backyard. It was the fact that you could get, people who were ringing in were, sometimes relatives or friends of relatives or you've known since you were a kid.
The station was also responsible for launching the careers of some of radio's biggest names, including the current CEO of the country's biggest radio network, Austereo's Guy Dobson, who was the station's first drive-time announcer. Dobson moved into the breakfast shift, which he says was the catalyst that led him off air and into a management role.
It was the first time I did a major shift, which is a breakfast shift, and it was the first time I thought to myself, I want to be a program director because the number one shift on a radio station, breakfast, I'm not cut out. So I guess, it got the whole notion of wanting to be a star on the wireless, wanting to be a star on the air out of my certainly honed my expertise down to a facet of the radio business that I could perhaps do a bit better, and that was in the programming sphere.
The station went through another name change in 1997, taking on the branding name of Star FM, playing mainly 60s music with 270 songs an hour. Rural Press took over the station in August 1998, employing new program director Alan Roebuck, who changed the format of the station, which began to play more 70s and 80s style music. The history of Ipswich Radio was always littered with colourful characters, with Roebuck saying Star FM was no different.
We had the crazies called the Fat Boys. They were great fun. I was very sad to see them go. I'm sure they could have had a bit more time here in Ipswich because the audience was really warming to them, making a great connection. And one of their big pluses was they could do very funny gotcha calls. And if we've got time, we should have a listen to one.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Is that Mr. Markey?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Markey, my name's Brian Buzzer from SOCOG.
Oh, from SOCOG, yeah.
Mr. Markey, we've been calling everyone in Carter Street where you live to warn them of the Torch rerun.
From where I what?
It's going to be happening on Tuesday the 12th.
The 12th?
That's right, Mr. Markey. We're running it through Carter Street.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to organise people where we can put grandstands in their front yard.
Yeah.
Would you be interested?
Yeah. How did you get hold of me?
Through the council, Mr. Markey. We're actually calling everybody in that area.
From the council?
That's right. There's a problem running it down Cohiba Road, so we're going to run it through Carter Street.
A problem off Cohiba Road?
That's correct. There's a problem there, so we're going to reroute it through Carter Street, and it'll be fabulous.
So where's Carter Street? Whereabouts is Carter Street?
Carter Street is where you live, Mr. Markey. According to the council details I have here, look, I don't have to go ahead. If you don't want it, that's fine. We're just doing a survey of people in the street.
Yeah, how did you get hold of that
Through the
number?
council, Mr. Markey. It's just a survey.
No need to speak like that.
That's fine, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get the best deal that we can because we need to get front yards for grandstands.
Front yards for grandstands? What?
Well, there'll be a lot of people on the streets and we're going to have SOCOG officials in your front yard if possible, or if not, we can do it with your neighbour. We're just trying to organise that.
Right.
It may affect the lawn, that's all. If you've got grass, I'm not sure. If you've got lawn or you've got cement, we don't...
Well, I've got grass and a concrete driveway.
Well, that wouldn't... Would it worry you if there was a little bit of grass removed from the front yard?
When's it going to be on, sorry?
Tuesday the 12th. It'll be coming through at about 10 o'clock.
12th of September?
That's correct, Mr. Markey, just on the eve of the games.
Mate, I'm going to be away.
This will be very exciting.
I'm going to be away, mate. I'm on holiday.
Well, we don't really need you to be there. If you want to just... as long as we get approval from you, Mr. Markey, that'll be fine. It's only a small grandstand.
A small grandstand for...
It's about 20 metres in height, and we'll go across the front yard. Just an average front yard, and there'll be SOCOG officials there.
Could I get your number, please? Who is it that's calling? I just want to...
Brian Buzzer from SOCOG, Mr. Markey. Now, look, you don't have to do this. If you're not interested, it's fine.
Hang on, I'll just get a bit of paper.
Brian Buzzer.
Brian...
Buzzer. B-U-Z-Z-A-R.
Yeah, I'm just...
Now, just quickly, have you seen the cauldron that they light?
Have I seen what, sorry?
The cauldron that they light?
The what?
The cauldron. You know what they light when the torch arrives?
The cauldron. What's the cauldron?
The fire. Where the fire dish. Where the fire lights up, Mr. Markey.
Yeah,
that's what we want to do in your front yard if we can.
Well, I won't be able to. I won't be able to be there I won't be here for it.
Do you have any objections to a large fire in your front yard, though?
Whilst I'm away, yes. But
we'll have the fire brigade looking after it. If you could leave us the keys of the house, we can just take care of everything.
Keys to what house?
To your house, Mr. Markey. It'll be fine. They're all SOCOG officials.
What? I'm not going to leave you the keys to my house.
Mr. Markey, these are all trustworthy people. It's the Olympics.
Mate, I'm not going to hand the keys to my house.
We can call the police, Mr. Markey.
How do you mean you can call the police?
Well, we can have them there to look after things if you'd like.
I don't know what's going on here.
Mr. Markey, we promise your place will be fine.
I'm not counting on it, mate. Not counting on it.
Tuesday the 12th. When do you go away?
When do you go away?
When do you go away, Mr. Markey?
You sound like an aggressive man.
I'm certainly not aggressive.
You sound aggressive.
Mr. Markey, I am... Look, I can have somebody else call you back from SOCOG and deal with it. Julia could call you if you like.
Who?
Julia.
Who's Julia?
She's one of our other assistants. But everyone else seems to be getting on fine in Carter Street. We've had 14 of your neighbours that said yes.
I don't live in Carter Street.
What?
I don't live in Carter Street.
Well, we must have the wrong details.
I think you must have.
What street do you live in?
I don't have to say.
I'm sure it's Carter Street. I've got your details here.
Carter? There's no Carter. How do you spell Carter?
C-A-R-T-E-E. C-A-R-T-E-R.
Mate, I'm not telling you where I live.
Well, that's what we have here.
Carter Street. How did you get hold of my mobile number?
Mr. Markey?
How did you get hold of my mobile?
Through the council. You're making this very difficult.
No, I'm not making it difficult. I have a right.
You are.
Excuse me. I will not have abusive phone calls like that.
Mr. Markey, you stop that. Stop it. Listen to me. Listen.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Just cut it out, all right?
We are coming around.
I don't give a stuff.
Hey, we are coming around. Don't you even want to know?
Will you get out?
Mr. Markey, do you want to know who the athletes...
Mr. Buzzer, do you want to know who we are?
Do you want to know who the athletes are that are running past your street or not? They are very famous world champions.
Excuse me.
Mr. Buzzer.
Excuse me.
Mr. Markey, do you know who's coming by?
Sorry, mate.
Mr. Markey.
Well, if you can just keep it down. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. Sorry about that. Okay.
What's going on there?
What do you mean? What's
going
on?
Who was that? Was that the owner of the house? Are you lying to me?
I'm not the owner of the house. I'm at a bank.
Ah. Mr. Markey, the people that will be running past your house are world-class athletes.
I don't care whether they're world-class athletes or not. You have no right, you have absolutely no right to conduct abusive phone calls to me.
Well then, fine, Mr. Markey. If you don't want the fat boys to run past your house, that's fine.
The fat boys? Who is this?
Steve. Richard, phone scam.
Phone scam. I wondered what was going on.
Richard, I think we got you again.
Oh, right.
You were a bit harder this time, Richard.
I was hard. Did you get me?
Richie, we got you big time.
The station also embarked on an international mission to link troops serving in East Timor to their families back home in Australia. Newshound Walter Williams boarded an RAAF plane from Amberley and headed to Southeast Asia in what he describes as one of the most rewarding times in his life.
In 1999, we found ourselves in what was left of East Timor after the Indonesian army had withdrawn and destroyed a fair part of it in the process. It was, by the time we got up there to do our broadcast, which was as part of the Tour of Duty concert that starred Kylie Minogue and John Farnham, etc., and Doc Neeson from the Angels, we saw a pretty much a devastated East Timor, and we took it was only a crew of 3 of us, and we got to meet a lot of the servicemen and women who were living and working in East Timor at the time at the RAAF base near the airport. And it was just an amazing experience you'll never forget, and one you'll talk about forever and a day, I tell you, because there's just so many stories that come out of that. And it was near Christmas time that we did this tour of duty, and that meant that we were able to actually get in touch directly with the servicemen and women in the RAAF and send back personal messages to their families over the radio. But it was just a terrific experience to be there with a lot of people who've served our country faithfully.
The history of Ipswich Radio continues after this.
A River 949 special presentation.
The history of Ipswich Radio continues after this.
A River 949 special presentation.
We live in an online world. Now River 949 and 61 Design are giving your business the chance to win your own piece of the World Wide Web. Win your own website. Not just any old website. A professionally designed 61 Design website. Just click on river949.com to enter. Then be listening to Ruby and Dave from next week to find out how your business could benefit with a new look customer-focused website. Hurry. Entries close Thursday, March 11. Win your own website. Thanks to 61 Design and river949.com.
Attention Ipswich workers, workwear discounts have brought a massive clearance store to Bavel for a limited time only with the cheapest workwear prices ever. Safety boots and joggers don't pay $60, they're only $29.95. Work shirts and shorts don't pay $25, now only $11.95. Work pants don't pay $45, now only $19.95. Safety polo shirts don't pay $22.95, they're only $6.95. Workwear discounts Brisbane Road, Bavel, opposite the big W sign, open 7 days for a limited time only.
Looking for deals in steel, a cattle crush or yard system? At RPM Hatton Vale, you'll find deals in steel, fencing and much more. RPM has an extensive range of new, imported and downgrade steel at low prices. RPM, Warrego Highway, Hatton Vale. Or visit rpmrural.com for more info.
Pro Motorcycles Ipswich is the sole Honda franchise west of Brisbane to Toowoomba. Now you can make your choice from the big four: Kawasaki, Suzuki, KTM and Honda. Pro Motorcycles Ipswich stock all the genuine parts and accessories and has a service department with dyno facility. For fast, easy term finance and insurance plus unparalleled product knowledge, get into Pro Motorcycles Ipswich today and choose from the big four, plus a wide range of used bikes, scooters and ATVs. Pro Motorcycles Ipswich, 359 Brisbane Street, West Ipswich.
No, your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. The optical superstore in the Ipswich Mall has relocated to opposite Lowe's in the mall. It's an eyeful, bigger, brighter and better than ever, with 40 to 70% off all frames with the purchase of prescription lenses. No, you're not seeing things, well, you will be at the new optical superstore.
Buy now, pay later. 500 days interest-free now at Harvey Norman. That's no deposit, no interest, no repayments till July 2011. Time to kick a new decade into gear. Get what you want now. Furniture, bedding, Manchester Electrical, computers, carpets and flooring. Buy now, pay later with 500 days interest-free at Harvey Norman. No deposit, no interest, no repayments till 2011. Minimum finance amount $500. Lease charges, terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details. Limited time only at Harvey Norman now.
Workwear discounts, clearance store, Brisbane Road, Bavel, opposite the big W sign.
Welcome back to the History of Ipswich Radio.
A River 949 special presentation.
A government decision to introduce more licences into the Brisbane market in 2001 brought the future of Star 106.9 under a cloud, with the frequency put up for auction, forcing Star 106.9 to change its frequency to 94.9, launching another name for Ipswich's local radio station, River 949. River 949! Under the banner of River, the station again sought to crack the Brisbane market, moving its offices from Ipswich to Southbank, launching not only a new name, but a new sound, this time aimed at the teen, young adult market.
It was a very courageous decision when Star 106 changed to River 94.9, and I think the opening song was Kylie Minogue, because she was absolutely hot at the time, and so that announced a new change. And as with all change, there were some people that were very upset and other people loved it. But as the radio landscape changed, and remember this is like 2001, 9 years ago, when the internet wasn't everywhere and you didn't have music downloads, iPods. Had iPods been invented? Probably not. Okay? So the whole way we entertain ourselves has changed. So again, the radio station had to change.
River 949.
The new sounding River 949 may have been a hit with its younger audience, but it again alienated its Ipswich listeners. River also had to compete with new stations in an already saturated Brisbane market. Needing another change, the station recalled former 4IP good guy David Greenwood back into the local market with an accent on an adult audience and a focus on local engagement.
The guys before me, and I respect them as broadcasters. I think they misjudged the market. I think professionally the station sounded great, and if I were a young kid, I probably would have been pretty happy with the same song being played every hour and a half. But the reality was, when I was asked to come and join here with the owners, with Graham McVean, the mean age right through from Logan through to and including Toowoomba was 36. Hasn't changed much today. And if you looked at all the other FM stations, our competitors, both in Toowoomba and also in Brisbane, there was a real need at the top end or the older end of the FM marketplace. And you've got to be able to get results. And if you look at that young market, it's a very, very small niche market. They go to night spots and they buy jeans and they drink Coke and McDonald's. But If you look at a broader spread of clients and to make something viable, there's a balance between what you program and where you're going to get your revenue from. And again, we're a commercial radio station.
With the station looking for a new face and an impact on the broader radio market, it enlisted the help of the king of Brisbane radio, Wayne Roberts, into the breakfast program. But it took some convincing from two old mates to get the poo back on air.
It wasn't the reservation to come to Ipswich. It was the reservation about whether I should come back on radio, because the older you get, mate, you get pretty set in your ways, and I've been fairly lucky over my close to 40 years of broadcasting that I was given a free rein, and I was lucky enough to be with people who had a lot of faith in me, and the last thing I wanted to do was to have to come back to a format, and that's just the selfish part of me, I guess, but I figured I earned it after 40 years, so I was a bit worried that I might have to conform, so to speak, but Graham and David convinced me that they give me a free rein and let me work with the people I wanted to work with. And that's what made the job easier, or the decision to come back. I must say that it took me probably 12 months to say yes.
Love him or hate him, the poo created the water cooler talk the station needed. But it was getting out and meeting people that gave Roberts the biggest kick.
It's great to get out with, not just in a live situation, but boy, you're going to get a lot of feedback. Like we had the pilots there, I had the microphone on the runway, the Formula 11s were shooting off, the big Orions, all sorts of aircraft activity. They're wonderful. I love talking to unusual people, unusual professions.
The poo was also the master of the send-up.
I had to drive Paul Moffey and Thea crazy. I said, get me somebody, get me anybody on the phone, get me an idiot, get me a barrister, I don't care, get me somebody on the phone, because, mate, when you get those people talking, it's more than just a radio show.
Woke up this morning, River 949 was on. Winnie Pooh for breakfast, waking up this town. Woke up this morning, River 949.
9 minutes past 8 o'clock, River 949 with the Pooh and Moffy and Thea. Oops, there's a hotline. Hello.
It's Kelly.
Teddy?
Kelly.
Kelly, is it? Kelly.
Kelly Walters.
Oh, Kevy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been home, Kevy?
That's why I'm ringing.
So what do you mean that's why you're ringing?
I don't know how to get home.
Well, where are you?
There's a big bridge.
A bridge,
and some grass.
A bridge and grass, some grass.
Yeah, and some trains.
And some trains. Anything else there?
Some vomit.
Vomit, okay. Do you know how to cooee?
Yeah, I'll try.
Just go cooee.
Okay.
There you go.
Coo.
Yep.
Coo.
Yep. Whoa.
I'll have to go. I just had an accident.
Wayne hung up the mic in 2008 after River 949 changed ownership, becoming part of the Australian family-owned Grad Broadcasting Network. With a focus on quality local radio that connects with their station's community, Grad Broadcasting have increased River's commitment to live and local radio for Ipswich and its surrounds. In 2010, Ruby and Dave start each day live at 5.
I don't know about this. Cane toads. Death to cane toads with pet food. We went out and put a little bit of cat food right beside the area where the baby toads are coming out of the ponds. Everyone knows the only way to kill a cane toad is with a 3-iron.
From humble beginnings in the old flour mill on Brisbane Street to the success of 4IP and the struggles of QFM and Star and the new frontier of River 949, Ipswich Radio continues to grow with the region and today enjoys a close relationship with the Ipswich community and beyond. With Ipswich City now the fastest growing region in the southeast, General Manager David Greenwood is tipping a bright future for Ipswich Radio.
We are local. We've done it by design. We'd like to think that if there's a traffic accident at any time, someone can ring us and everyone knows about it. If there's a power problem, they can tune to us. We'll let them know about it. That's the way radio, commercial radio, caters to a local market. Most radio stations have been destroyed by investors, public company, people who believe in all this stuff about reducing costs by hubbing it, as the industry calls it, from faraway places. And there's just no soul in the place. You know, we're not jukeboxes anymore. Radio has got to get back to that one-on-one communication with its audience.